This game is a work of fiction in its author's imagination. It does not aim to offend, insult, or discriminate anyone on their religious, social, economical, species, or any other basis. Any violation of the player's aesthetic sensitivity, active citizenship, or any other spiritual impulse lies on their conscience. Any resemblance of the characters to your real or imaginary friends, neighbors, colleagues, tulpas is entirely coincidental. All the heroines are 18 years old, and they've confirmed their consent on participating in this game in written form. An excerpt from the screenwriter's medical history can be provided on demand. The game doesn't contain any propaganda of voluntary or not ending one's life. Not a single mascot, animal, or human was hurt during the game's creation. Happy reading. I was having that dream once again. That dream. Same thing, every night. But it's all forgotten in the morning, as usual. Maybe it's for the best. Only a glimpse of memory will remain, of gates, half opened as if inviting me somewhere, with two frozen stone pioneers standing close. And also that strange girl, who keeps asking me,
Will you come with me? Come.
come? But where? And why? And where am I anyway? Of course, if it all would have happened in real life, I would have certainly been scared. This much is sure. But this is just a dream. The same one I see every night. There must be a reason. You don't have to know where or why to realize something is really happening. Something desperate for my attention. Since everything that surrounds me here is real as things in my own flat, I could open the gates, hear the hinges creak, brush the crumbling rust away with my hands, inhale the fresh, cool air, and even shiver from the cold. I could, but to do that, I would need to pick myself up, make a step, move my hand. But this is a dream. I understand that, but what of it? What would change my understanding? Because here, it's just like on the other side of the cracking screen of an old TV, which struggles to fight against static noise and strives to show its audience everything without missing a single detail. But the picture is getting blurry. I must be waking up soon. Maybe I should ask her something. The girl. What's her name? About the stars, for instance. Why the stars, though? I'd rather ask about the gates. Yes, the gates! She would be so surprised. Or better, why don't I Wow. Why don't I over what's called a little... Wow, that's just like, oh wow.
A white dot
Pardon us,
over.
people who are watching this. This is actually just recently done. The English may be a bit terrible, and we'll still try our best for your viewing entertainment. Why do over? I was called a little, but... do it over? I was called a superscript dot. Nice letters. As if they don't exist anymore. Still, what do letters, gates, and stars have to do with this place? Because every night I'm having this dream, which will be forgotten soon anyway. I've got to look for answers here and now. And there, if you look carefully, you can see the Magellanic Clouds. As if I ended up in the southern hemisphere. In a dream, there are the small things that catch the most of your attention. unnatural color of grass, impossible curves of straight lines, or your own distorted reflection, while the real danger, which could put an end to everything right here and now, seems a trifle. It's natural, since here you cannot die. I know it for sure. I've done it hundreds of times. But if you cannot die, is there even a point in living? I should ask the girl. She's a local, so she should know. Yes, exactly. I should ask her about the owl, for example. One strange bird it is. Though it doesn't really matter.
Will you come with me?
And every time I have to answer. It's the only way, otherwise the dream will never end, and I will never wake up. Go ahead. Yes, I'll come with you. Every time, it's so hard to decide on the answer. Where am I? What am I doing here? And even, who is she? And why does so much in my life depend on this answer? Or maybe it doesn't? It's just a dream after all. Just a dream. It's fine. Oh. Oh, man. Huh? Oh. Oh. Okay, what was I doing again? Huh. The computer screen stared at me as if it was alive. Sometimes it really did seem to me that it was conscious of itself, had its own thoughts and wishes, ambitions, that it had feelings, could love, and even suffer. As if in our relationship the screen was an instrument, it was me, lifeless piece of plastic and textilite. There is some truth in that, probably because the computer provides 90% of my communication with the outside world. Anonymous image boards, some chats from time to time, rarely ICQ or Jabber, and forums even more rarely. People on the other end of the internet cable simply do not exist. They are all simply creations of its sick imagination, an error in the source code or a kernel bug which started to live a life on its own. If one looked at my existence from the side, such thoughts would not seem so mad, and the psychologist would surely give me a bunch of sophisticated diagnoses, maybe write me a doctor's referral to an asylum. Ugh. Light it burns. A small apartment with no trace of repair or semblance of order in it. And always the same view out of the window on the gray megalopolis running somewhere day and night. Such are the conditions of my life. Well, of course it didn't all start like this. I was born, went to school, and finished it like all the others. I was accepted at the university where I spent a year and a half trailing and struggling. I drifted through several jobs. Sometimes it was working out quite well. Sometimes I was even getting decent money for it. But it all felt like it was not mine, as if taken from another man's biography. I wasn't living a life to its fullest. It was looping on in a monotonous circles, as in the Groundhog Day movie. It's just I had no choice in how to spend my day, and every day repeated itself, a same vicious spiral of emptiness, misery, and despair. For the last few years, I just sat in front of the screen all day. Sometimes there were menial jobs, sometimes my parents helped me. All in all, I was able to provide for myself. No wonder, really, since my needs are quite minor. I hardly leave my home, and my communication with other people almost entirely consists of online correspondence with the anonymous who have no real name, no gender, and even no age. So in brief, quite a typical life of a quiet and typical antisocial person of his time. Kind of Donnie Darko on a minor scale without doomsday-related visions. Maybe some highly respected director will make a movie about me, and it will become a classic of modern drama cinema. Or I will make one myself. However, what's the point of fooling myself? I tried many times but couldn't even come up with a simple script. I've also tried learning many other things. Not gifted enough to draw. Programming got bored. Foreign languages takes too much time. Only thing I loved doing was reading, but still I would never have called myself a scholar. Perhaps I was an ace in watching anime and grandmaster of lame internet jokes. If I were to get paid for it, I probably would be a happier person, and a richer person too. But I doubt it would fill the hole inside me. Today was another typical day of a typical loser's typical life. Today is the day when I have to go to my university union. Frankly speaking, I really did not want to. What is the point? Time I spent with them was so short. However, I got persuaded by a friend, my former university mate and one of the few who I kept in touch not only through the internet. That's a beautiful view. It's fine. That's not creepy. The way that it was done, though. Oh gosh, that looks a lot like me if I had my facial hair. Okay. At least I had the voice right. That's a good thing. A frosty evening. Bus stop. Waiting. I never liked winter. Yeah, I can agree with that. Though hot summer is not my season either. It's just that I see no reason to point out any particular time of the year. It does not matter much whether it is outside since you spend 24/7 at home. The bus today was running so late that I was about to curse it all and spend the last few hundreds rubles for a taxi. The idea of returning home didn't cross my mind for some reason. As usual, millions of thoughts flew through my mind, but there was not a single useful one to seize. Such thought that you could bring to existence, give it a shape, even turn it into an idea and put it into practice. Maybe I could start my own business. But where would I get the money from? Or maybe I could go back to working in an office? No, no way. Maybe I should try freelancing. What skills do I have? Who needs me after all? I suddenly remembered my childhood, or rather teen years, the time when I was 15 to 17 years old. Why exactly those years? No idea. I guess it's because back then, everything was much more simple. It was easier to make decisions so complicated now and so simple then. Waking up in the morning, I knew exactly how my day was going to pass. I was always eagerly looking forward to the weekend. Then I could get some rest and have time for the things I liked. Computer, football, going out with friends. And then, at the beginning of next week, take up my studies again. Back then, there were no such worrying questions as why, who needs it, what will change if I do it, or what will not change. A simple live stream so casual for any normal person, and so odd to myself today. Careless childhood age. It was also then that I met my first love. Her appearance and character have vanished from my memory. Only her name remains like a brief line from a social network profile, along with the feelings which overwhelmed me when I was with her. Affection, tenderness, desire to care for her, and to even protect her. Sadly, it didn't last long. Today, I can hardly imagine something like that happening. I would probably like to meet a girl. I don't know how to start a conversation, what on earth to discuss, and even how to attract her. I haven't met a suitable girl for a long time. Where could I meet one? The sound of an engine working brought me back to reality. A bus pulled over. There's something abnormal about it, I thought. Then again, it doesn't matter. Only the 410 runs this route. Alright. Street lights passing me. It's as if their cold light sparks inside of me, trying to light up feelings long dead. Or maybe not sparks, just wakens them. Because those feelings, they have been living in me for a long time, cooling down and even waking up again. The driver's radio was playing some very familiar tune, but I wasn't listening to it. I was watching the cars passing by through the fogged up window. Because people are always rushing somewhere, chasing something that they need, stuck in their own little worlds. Why would they care about mine? Probably have their own serious problems, or maybe they have much easier lives. You can't know for sure since all people are different. Or aren't they? Sometimes someone's actions can easily be predicted, but if you try to look inside his soul, you will only see impenetrable darkness. The bus was approaching downtown, and my thoughts were interrupted by the bright city lights. Hundreds of ad boards, thousands of cars, millions of people. I was watching this light show, and somehow I got terribly sleepy. My eyes closed for just a moment. Then, Bright daylight struck my eyes. At first I didn't pay attention as I wasn't fully awake yet. On their own, my legs carried me towards the door. Damn, looks like I fell asleep and missed my stop. But there were no doors. I looked around the bus and realized that it wasn't a good old worn-out Marco Polo. Instead, the bus was the Icarus model and new. I was frozen in shock. How? What? Am I dead? Have I been kidnapped? No, I must be dead. I touched my body wildly, slapped myself in the face a few times, struck the back of the front chair with my forehead. It's clear. Either I'm still alive, or being dead, you can still feel the pain. But how could all this happen? Maybe I was asleep for too long and ended up in the bus depot. Then what? Did they put me into another bus? Rushed out and took a look around. Greenery wherever I looked. Tall grass on the roadside, trees, flowers. Summer? How? It was winter just a moment ago. I had a terrible headache. As if my head was going to explode. Step by step, I started to recall. What in... A long road running towards the horizon. Forests, plains, fields, lakes, and forests again. I think I was sleeping, but how then can I remember all of it? And then... a gap. Some girl leaning over me. She is softly whispering something to my ear. Then a gap again. And then I woke up here. Who is that strange girl? Or was she just a dream? For some reason, thinking about her made me feel better and calm me down a little. I felt warmth all over, coming from the inside. Could it be her who brought me here? Then I need to find her. The best way to look for her is to get away from here. I rushed to the left, then to the right, then stopped, hesitating where to go, and finally ran in the direction where the bus probably came from.